different edition of the Southern Ontario Dirt Show podcast this week. My name is Jonathon Howe. I am flying solo as Travis Cunningham, my partner in crime here. He's got some work to do on the race car to get things ready for Saturday's Spring Sizzler. Big engine repair. Big engine repair, little engine repair. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not the technical guy, and I'm definitely not the engine guy. At one point, Travis did joke about, it's like, oh, why don't you come give me a hand? I am the last person that he wanted probably hanging around the shop on a night like tonight where he's got some heavy work to do. I know or more hands make less work, but sometimes, you want the at least skilled or trained hands of some kind close by. So I'm flying solo on the show. We're going to do just a quick episode, recap a couple of things happening in the dirt world, and tee up this weekend's Spring Sizzler. I wanted to make sure we gave it some proper love. This is the Southern Ontario Dirt Show. This is the weekend where racing returns to Southern Ontario. It's episode 83, going to be a bit of an abbreviated one, going to be a little bit different. I'm not sure. I hope this is going to be the only one that I have to do alone, at least in the not too distant future. We'll see. Maybe bring on some special co-hosts next time or whatever. But for today, let's just crush out an episode. Episode 83, like I said, I cannot think. I just went through last year's results from Merrittville Speedway, and I do not remember seeing an 83 car in any division. I went over the points. I didn't see one. I may have just quickly scrolled by one maybe and I missed it. But I don't have a driver 83. So if you've got one, feel free to comment on either our Facebook, maybe over on the Twitter post as well when you see this podcast episode linked up, or just send the show a note because we would appreciate it. I'm sure maybe Travis probably has one that I'm not thinking of. I'm going to really kick myself too. I didn't think of even checking Oshweekend. Maybe there's a sprint car that I'm not thinking of that's 83. Apologies if I'm missing you, but you can let me know and let us know. Cars with number 83 that have raced around Southern Ontario. You can either email the show, southernontariodirtshow@gmail.com, or let us know on social media as well. At least I would appreciate that. Before we get too far into the Merrittville things, I think we should do a quick recap of what's going on in the in the big sprint car world, because we do like to talk a little bit about the 410s, be it High Limit or World of Outlaws. World of Outlaws down at Peevely this past weekend, Friday, Saturday. 2 races. First night went to David Gravel, which, again, making me eat my words. This is what I expected from David Gravel. I thought that he would be the driver that would step up and seize the day with, the split between High Limit and the World of Outlaws, and it seeming like maybe a thinner field, if you could say that. Every time I go to say, oh, it's a thinner field in the World of Outlaws, that's not true. There is still some great drivers and great talent throughout that series that's making it great. Gravel wins on the first night over Kofoid and Carson Macedo third. Gravel started second, got the lead early, led all 40 laps, and the score's $12,000 for the win on night number 1. And how about the Donnie Schatz picking up win on night number 2 down in Peevely. Donnie Schatz wins it over Carson Macedo, Michael Kofoid as well, sitting there. And your podium, David Gravel, went from 6th to 4th. And the old man still got it, man. It's good to see Donnie Schatz running as well as he is. It's good to see him winning races. I think that's good for the World of Outlaws. Kind of having that, I don't want to say old guard, because I feel like this is a bit of a shot to Donnie Schatz, but to have somebody who is an established name and has been for decades now in the world of sprint cars, I think goes a long way to just continuing to have fans be able to relate to some of these guys. I think having Donnie up there running well goes a long way, and Donnie is second in points to David Gravel right now. It's Gravel Shots, Gio Selzy, Logan Schuart, Carson Macedo, your top 5 in World of Outlaws sprint car driver points. You can see all that on the worldofoutlaws.com if you want to see where they're racing next as well. Let's have a look at take a peek at the schedule. Ooh, we got it. You know how I am with pronunciations, guys. I'm gonna try this one. Is this Paducah, Kentucky? Paducah International Speedway, or International Raceway, should say. I think that's how you say it. That's the Friday night show, and then they're in Hobstad, Indiana, Tri-State Speedway, April 20th. I'm just taking a guess at that, but yeah, I thought I'm liking what I'm seeing from the world of Outlaws. If you've been watching, let me know. Let me know in the socials. We'd love to hear what you're watching. Are you leaning one way? Are you going World of Outlaws only? Watching a little bit of the High Limit, going back and forth? Let us know. Speaking of those high limits, they were back in action. A couple of races over the weekend and on this past Tuesday as well. Two races. Oh, excuse me, just one race at Texas Motor Speedway. We've got results from that one. Anthony Macri, Tyler Courtney, Brad Sweet, your podium there on the Saturday night at tough run for Kyle Larson, which I don't know, between the NASCAR and IndyCar stuff, maybe he's letting his sprint car stuff slide just ever so slightly. But I liked that there was some Hendrick Motorsports promo content that came out, and Alex Bowman was giving Kyle Larson a little bit of crap for not having a good run after starting 10th, finishing 14th. So I know a lot of people made jokes about the high limit just being for Brad Sweet and Kyle Larson to just dominate, but that's not the case. Anthony Macri, like I say, picks up the win over Tyler Courtney. Brad Sweet ended up on the podium still. Jacob Allen, James McFadden, your top five in the high limits from Texas Motor Speedway. The next night, they head down to RPM Speedway, and it's Corey Day picking up the win over Kerry Madsen and Jacob Allen, your top three there. Macri was fourth, Brad Sweet fifth, and heading into the Tuesday show, the Red Dirt Raceway, Red Dirt Rumble, another midweek money race. That ended up being the first midweek money race after the first one got rained out. Corey Day gets the win in that one. Tyler Courtney second. Brent Marks, Parker Price Miller, and Justin Peck, your top five there. As of the racing on Tuesday, Tyler Courtney is your points leader in the high limits. He leads by 33 points over Brad Sweet, Corey Day, Brent Marks, Jacob Allen, your top five in that one. Like I say, that kind of wraps up some of the stuff that's been happening in terms of international racing, we'll call it, or at least stateside with the world of dirt. But everything is all about this Saturday, at least for me. I am so ready to be back in the booth. I got a little taste, I guess it was just over a week ago now, when they had that limited practice session at Merrittville Speedway. I went out for that one. Tuesday this past week, they did a full-on practice session. Very well attended. I think there was 75 plus cars in the pits that all saw the racetrack at one point or another. Travis was one of them. It looked pretty good up until having a bit of an engine issue. Next week, I'm sure he'll be back on to kind of explain what he was going through, and I do believe that he is going to be able to get ready and be ready for the Spring Sizzler this weekend, where the SOS Southern Ontario Sprints, their headliner, 350A modifieds, Hoosier stocks, and 4 cylinders this Saturday at Merrittville Speedway. Of course, if you want the information, if you want tickets, bad host here. Forgot to say, this, of course, show brought to you by Vansickle Pet Valu and PV on the Lane, where this year you can go and get your tickets for Merrittville Speedway ahead of time. Beat the box office. Don't have to line up with the box office. You can get those tickets, head towards the main gate, save yourself a little bit of time, and while you're in there, maybe pick up some awesome stuff for your pup or your cat or hamster, fish, whatever you need. They got your pet supplies there, and they always love seeing my dog Finn. Bring your pet in too if you can. Folks from Vansickle Pet Valu and PV on the Lane aren't just fans of your favorite four-legged friends, they are race fans too. That's why Jeff and Rhonda Riley, as well as their staff, have teamed up with Merrittville Speedway to make your race day experience more convenient. Race fans can now pick up tickets for race nights while grabbing the highest quality food, treats, toys, and accessories for their pets from the St. Catharines and Niagara Falls locations. Beat the box office and the crowds. Their support of local racing doesn't just stop with you, the race fan. Catch the Vansickle Pet Valu PV on the Lane 4 cylinders racing at Merrittville Speedway throughout the 2024 season. Check out Vansickle Pet Valu across from Best Buy and Walmart on 4th Avenue in St. Catharines, and PV on the Lane at the corner of Kayla Road and Lundy's Lane, Highway 20. So Spring Sizzler kicks off the Merrittville 73rd season this Saturday, April 20th. Once again, Peter's Construction Group presenting that show. I don't know if I want to make any kind of predictions. I kind of wanted to save that for when Travis is back. I will say that the track looks great. It looks like it's in great shape. Driver said as much. I'm very excited about the car count in the modifieds. I think I was talking with a few different people, and we're still trying to finalize the numbers of what we're expecting. But I think by my count, I think we're sitting at or looking at maybe 22, 23 full-time mods this year, give or take, maybe more. It's super exciting to see the growth of the modified division, and I I don't I don't think I've got a pick yet. I think I'm gonna take advantage of this weekend, getting the race in to watch who I think is going to be a contender, who's going to be the main uh, ones to watch. Obviously Pete Bicknell was fast on the practice session. He looked good. I like I liked what I was seeing from JMF. He looks very comfortable moving back up to the modifieds. I think Friesen's going to be really, really strong. It's so tough. I think this is going to be the hardest year to handicap in terms of who is going to be top talent in the modifieds. And I say that, and you know what? Maybe you're out there listening and you disagree. I can already hear Travis probably disagreeing with me. I don't know. I really don't know what exactly to expect from this 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 season in the modifieds. I don't know. I think it's more wide open than it's been in the last couple years. Gary Lindbergh's going to be back racing. Pete, obviously defending champion, he's going to be strong. JMF moving up. What do we see from the Carlton brothers? They both looked pretty good at practice, especially I thought Luke had a lot of pace. I was really impressed with what I saw from Luke. I don't know. It's going to be tough to see. Let me see if I can pull up some of the practice times. Again, I don't really read into single lap practice in any sort of motorsport form. For me personally, I think it's just my analytic brain that says, okay, well, yeah, that's one great run, but what about like average lap time? What does your lap time look like over the long run? Are you having a lot of drop off? Are you fast for just one lap, or can you be fast over an entire race? Because I think that's what matters. It's what matters the most to me, anyways. So I'm just pulling up some of the results. If you have Race Monitor, you should be able to go back and see some of the times that were turned from this past Tuesday's session. I'm jumping into it here, and it was a pretty chaotic one. So when you're trying to look through which one was which, I just pulled up a modified. Session. I don't see exactly what time of the night this particular session was, but I'm looking at Freddie Carlton posting a fast time of 15.6, 15.64. Brad Rouse is up there. Brad, I haven't really mentioned yet on the show. I really think Brad's going to be very strong. I don't want to say it's a disappointment if we don't see Brad Rouse in victory lane multiple times, because I don't think that's fair to say to anybody. But would it shock me if Brad Rouse finishes the year this year with 3-4 wins? No, it really wouldn't. Trevor Wright was out there and turned in fifth fastest time, actually, behind Luke Carlton and Pete Bicknell. So still lots to see. This is, again, I'm not 100% sure which time of night this was, just looking through things. We saw a lot of sportsman drivers out there. One thing to say about the sportsman is that it is a youth movement. There's a lot of, I don't want to say inexperience, because I don't think that's fair, because there's a lot of guys who have great go-karting backgrounds and everything else. But I just think in terms of actual average age of drivers, you're going to see the sportsmen really be run by the kids, I think. Matteo Penante, fast time in the session I'm looking at here with a 16.45. Adam Leslie looks good. I think he's poised for a big year. Jacob Chevalier was the talk, I would say, of the sportsman practice. A lot of people were impressed with Heavy Chevy's kid doing a good job taking over the 12 car. The story is that he's taking it over for the full year. I haven't talked to Chad or Jacob exactly about what the plan is, but from all the whispering that I heard up in the tower is that Jacob's going to be driving that 12 car full time in the Sportsman, and he looked really strong. He looked very comfortable out there, and that's it's interesting. That's an interesting driver that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. I really think Matteo Panante could be the breakout driver of the year. That might be a bold statement, and define breakout, because I could also see that this Sportsman year lends itself to a Jordan Costco, for example, coming off a big win at Humberstone last year where he won the Costco Memorial event in the Sportsman. Why not? Who says that Jordan can't leapfrog that into, or parlay that into some kind of big epic kind of run for a championship this year? It's possible. That's the thing. I think everything is so wide open. I think maybe after the first 2-3 weeks at Merrittville, you'll probably know who the favorites are if you're unsure of in any class. I'm going to scroll down and have a look at some of the 360 times here if I can pull these up. Again, 360s. I would say the sprint car times kind of all over the place. Like the session I'm looking at right now, Al Slate, I don't know. Yeah, he was a crate sprint. Al Slate was a crate sprint. He turned a 14.63, and then Darren Dryden turned a 13.49. So I don't know why it's got Al Slate as the top time here. Kind of weird how that. Maybe I guess just because he's a crate, so that separated it for itself in the session. Again, I'm just going off of what Race Monitor is telling me here. You can go and find the statistics here if you got your Race Monitor set up. Race-monitor.com is where you can go and see all the results from the Tuesday. But yeah, I don't want to go too far into making any kind of predictions, anything like that right now, because I want Travis here to do that. I'll just say that I'm super excited again for the SOS. I'm super excited for the Spring Sizzler in general. I don't know what to expect from Saturday. I'm just hoping the weather cooperates. We get it in. I have not actually checked the weather forecast. Let me have a look. Live weather update from the radio guy here on the podcast. Let's have a look and see what we're looking at for the weekend and going forward. It is a bit chilly down in the Southern Ontario region, which may play a factor in things. Looking at the weekend forecast here, looks like clear skies. Going to be a bit chilly, but I think we're going to have no rain to worry about. Knock wood. Under a 20% chance, looks like in the evening. So it's just a matter of those temperatures. And if 6 degrees is too cold for a spring sizzler, it's definitely not going to be sizzling outside. But with the race cars going around, I think that's going to be a good time for race fans. So hopefully we'll see you at Merrittville this Saturday night. And then we'll come back next week with a full-on podcast where we probably do predictions for the entire Merrittville season. Maybe we'll do like I don't want to say a draft, but we'll do championship picks in each division. Who do you think is a favorite? Who you don't think is a favorite? And that's probably where I want your help. A little pre-scouting from the fans. If you hear this episode, you check it out on Facebook, you check it out on Twitter. Again, you got that email address, Southern Ontario Dirt Show. Let us know what some of your predictions are. Maybe some of our favorites we'll read on the show live. See if we disagree, see if we agree. I always like reading people's opinions to Travis just to see his facial reactions, which you don't really see in an audio podcast, but you'll probably have something to say about some of your predictions and wild takes. So let's send those in. I'll put it up on social media. You can comment on the episode. You can comment on the post when I put it up. Just give us your predictions for Merrittville Speedway this year. Who do you think can win some races? Who do you think is going to be a champion? If you were at practice, what did you see? What did you like? What were you surprised by? Want to hear it all. You can get a hold of us again at SODS_pod on social media and at our email address, southernontariodirtshow@gmail.com. And you can find me at Jonathon on air, Jonathon is how you spell Jonathon for the record. Get in touch with me. Let me know. And hopefully we'll see you at Saturday. And hopefully you enjoyed this abbreviated episode of the Southern Ontario Dirt Show podcast. We will be back, I believe, in full form next week. If not, I will definitely be getting a guest co-host to break down all things and prediction-wise with Merrittville Speedway. And I'm just so stoked that racing season is back. We'll see you at the racetrack this Saturday. And the checkered is out on another episode of the Southern Ontario Dirt Show presented by Ohsweken Speedway and Bicknell Racing Products. Like what you hear, rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Connect with us on Facebook at Southern Ontario Dirt Show or find us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at SODS_pod. Have a question for the show? Email us, southernontariodirtshow@gmail.com. Thanks for supporting local racing in Southern Ontario, and we'll see you at the track.